Okay. Walkers and I suppose scooterists and cyclists will get a new harbour bridge to themselves at a cost of $785 million. But wait, there's more. Following criticism of the 5 years this will take to get up and pedalling, the government is considering devoting an existing bridge lane now on the existing bridge to active transport. Your opinions, Louis?
Yeah, well, the costs involved in this bridge are just mind-boggling when you consider it's the legacy of SkyPath. It's SkyPath 2.0. SkyPath was first $16 million, then it became $67 million. Now it's more than 10 times that. So it's no surprise we're now talking about a far, far cheaper option of taking back a lane. So a trial is an option there, but if they pursue a trial, they need to do that in good faith and actually announce the usage targets that they want to see during that trial, and actually abide by those targets as to whether they implement it on a permanent basis.
Josie, what if closing a lane on the bridge, the trial that Lou's mentioning, works out so well that a second bridge doesn't start to seem necessary?
Well, let's be clear. It may well work well for people who want to cycle from Herne Bay to Takapuna. It's not going to do anything for people in Mill Road in South Auckland who are trying to get out of the traffic congestion. So even if it did work, Jim, it's not. Look, it's about choices, isn't it? And I just think this is, I would love to have a sky walk thing. I think it's wonderful in Sydney, absolutely love it. But this is about choices, and I think this is possibly the worst decision that the government has made so far. A bit like their $20 million that went to a green school to grow crystals before the last election. This is 30 times that. And you're spending, let's say, in the budget they announced $300 million for Māori housing. Well, this is like 20 times that. Is this really more important than Māori housing? That's another capital expenditure. So I think it's going to come back to bite them, because in the end there were other options there. I'd love to see the cost-benefit analysis of this. Build a tunnel under the harbour. That was one option that was out there. With this money, you could have a ferry service virtually running 24 hours. You could literally walk or cycle on a ferry across that harbour with this kind of money. So it just seems to me no process. They haven't thought it through, and it looks like they're looking after the Herne Bay Takapuna lot, not the South Auckland.
I mean, studies have been done in New Zealand that show that cyclists, at least currently, are wealthier than the average commuter.
But the cyclists themselves wanted a trial. That's the whole idea, isn't it? You have a trial over the summer, for example, and you see how many cyclists get on their bikes and then where they go after they get off in Herne Bay or Takapuna.
Even that we're talking about this now and that this has sort of come up, you sort of think, we've had a pandemic. We're still dealing with the pandemic. We've got so many other issues that are urgent. Is this really something that we should be trialling right now? How about we trial doing up Middlemore Hospital? See if that goes well. I mean, I just think this is going to play into the narrative that somehow, and frankly, I lost the memo that cycling's left wing and roads are right wing. That this is going to play into the narrative that somehow this government is looking after its own.
You can just see the images now of people stuck in traffic taking photos of this empty cycle lane, and those images will just resonate and make people furious.
Mightn't be empty. I mean, the Burrard Bridge in Vancouver is a success story, and it became the busiest bike lane in North America. We talked a bit about this last week. But okay, interestingly emphatic responses from both of you.